Welcome to episode 222. I'm back. Hold on. All right, we back for another episode of Lost in the Script TV. How y'all doing? How y'all been? Hold on, let me make sure all this is correct, y'all. All right. Okay, long time no see or no hear from y'all. Hopefully y'all had a stress-free couple weeks as possible. I had to do some things to get this thing working again. A little bit all over the place for this first episode back. Hopefully y'all can be patient with the brother. Hold on. Lot went on for the last month, I guess. All right, we can turn this down. We're going to get to a lot of it at least. Obviously not all of it. Hold on. Had to get a little bit of a new system over here. What up, Regina? How you doing? I don't know, something is weird right now. Hold on. Hello. Okay, no, I don't want to do that. All right. Enough. All right. How you doing, Regina? How you doing, everybody? Okay, I'm ready now. Been trying to get this right for the last 2 days. I had to get a whole new system. Had to re-download a whole bunch of stuff. Hopefully everything is going smooth right now. Hopefully y'all can hear me. Hopefully y'all can see everything. Hopefully it's not lagging. We're gonna go ahead and get right into it. Last couple weeks, a lot of stuff been going on. Some of the same old topics been popping up and same arguments being had and debates. We're gonna get to some of it at least. Touch on a lot of things. Some of the stuff I might end up moving past, but we shall see. And as the episode says, are these Black wins? Do we consider some of these things that people are celebrating as wins? Is it a benefit to everybody? We're gonna talk about some other discussions being had about who get to tell these stories and celebrate it and all this other stuff. Do we still care about the Oscars and all these other platforms? I thought we were over it, but obviously we say the same thing every year, and then we celebrate it and we happy when movies that are art, pieces of art that we celebrate. We want everybody to celebrate it. We need that validation, I guess. So getting right into it, we start with this. Ryan Coogler says, I'm very nervous after winning his first Oscar for writing Sinners. Start off with a congratulations to him. It's a good movie to me. I do know there's a lot of people that were wanted to push the whole, it wasn't what some people expected, but we're going to stick to the positive. Good movie to me. I really enjoyed it. It won an Oscar for best screenplay. And I think it was something that I think won 4 awards total. So congratulations to them. Made about $300 million plus. A lot of money was made off of this. And at this point, it's pretty obvious that he is a superstar now. He's a superstar director, producer. Regina says, very good movie. Yeah, I liked it a lot. And it's strange, right? When we see these Black people or these artists or entertainers or whatever they do for a living, whenever they reach that real, you can make an argument, this is kind of the peak of your career. Not necessarily saying that it can't get better as far as the movies you produce, you make more money and stuff, but just it's really the only thing higher than this is winning the award for best movie, which obviously went to one battle after another. Some people wasn't happy about that. A lot of people weren't. We're going to get to that a little later, but I enjoyed the film. Proud of them. As you can see right here, let me just show this right quick. Almost exactly 2 years ago, Ryan Coogler brought in an audacious script to the Hollywood studios and asked them to bid on a package that included Coogler directing the script and Michael B. Jordan starring. Now that script for the Warner Brothers Vampire Wars juggernaut Sinners has won him his first Oscar. The filmmaker won the Academy Award for Best Original Screenplay on Sunday night. Cooley kicked off his acceptance speech after the audience, who gave him a standing ovation. Please, please, please sit down because I'm very nervous and they're going to play me off. I grew up in Oakland, California, and we could talk a lot. So obviously this discussion came with the movie. People enjoyed it or whatever. There was a lot of these stand wars going on between the movie, as I said earlier, one battle after another, and this movie led to a whole bunch of debates. Obviously, the other person who was supposed to get an award was the, what's his name? Timothy Chalamet, how you say his name? For Best Actor. That ended up going to Sir Michael B. Jordan. Congratulations to him. Oscar winner Michael B. Jordan says his dad flew in from Ghana. We're going to get to that too, how that led to a whole other topic. So as this discussion came on about the celebrations around social media, people, showing love to him for this movie, saw how the people in attendance made sure they show a lot of respect and cheered them on when they won. Very quickly, the conversation turned into what people want to see from him next and all this other stuff. I was disappointed to find out. Hold on, y'all. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. All right, I'm back. Back to this. Obviously, when the success this had, people started talking about what they want to see for him next, expectations and stuff, and it begged the question. Unfortunately, because only a handful of Black people are allowed to be at the top of the mountain at a time, it leads into this this thing where everybody put their expectations on one or two people, particularly normally one person. So everybody want the one person to be a representative for the entire Black American nation. This person needs to make a movie that anybody of any walks of life, anywhere in the country, can identify with at every time, which you would think a movie having a majority cast about something Black should be enough, but apparently it's not. That pressure showed itself immediately. So on social media, across on certain platforms, I started seeing this debate about the movie Sinners, about what wasn't in it. Right? People started talking about what wasn't in it. During that dance sequence that they performed at the Oscars, you started seeing people say that there should have been certain things in there. And of course, saw that led to a whole debate. This person said that there should have been some in this movie, in the movie to be voguing during the dance sequence, which led to a bunch of backlash. People saying, "Get the F out of here. We ain't trying to hear all that." And they waited until he reached the point of winning this Oscar. They didn't do it after Fruitvale Station. They didn't do it after his other movie. They didn't do it after Creed. They didn't do it after Black Panther. They waited until he won the Oscar for this. And then I started thinking about all the other directors around the industry and people that with some power. I would probably make an argument, the most powerful Black creator in Hollywood is probably, what's her name? Shonda Rhimes, ain't it? Is that how you say her name? Shonda Rhimes? She has three, regardless of what you think about the shows, she has three big jokers. I think it's Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, and then she got that Briston show on. She has 3 big jokers. She could pretty much go into any studio and get anything she want greenlit. Yeah, Shonda Rhimes, that's it. She can go to any studio, get a show if she wants it. Yet you rarely hear this desire for her to put certain representation on screen because she do what she want to do. And I would make an argument that her movies or TV shows aren't necessarily centered in quote unquote blackness, unlike Ryan Coogler. I would say every last one of his movies, outside of maybe you could say Creed, was the center of it was some idea of blackness. So now Ryan Coogler has to represent black people from every walks of life, educationally, socioeconomic background. He has to represent people's sexualities. He has to represent people's everything has to about politics. And I wish we didn't do that. And I always bring this person name up. I always say it's hard for black writers and creators to put black people in different walks of these movies. We want the same thing in every movie. We want everybody represented in all the movies. And in this big debate that started, I won't say big, in this debate that started against Ryan Coogler, the first thing people said was, you kind of already got Tyler Perry. You already have Lee Daniels. I forgot the dude that directed the movie, that did the movie Moonlight. You already have black people that do these type of movies. What's her name? Lena Wraith. You already have these people. Why do you need all these black people to do the same stories? Right? And then that led into the discussion when we talk about what does it mean to win these awards for black movies. And the debate, like I said, between one better after another, and we seen Teyana Taylor she was up for the Oscar for her role. And there were a lot of orders of that. Obviously, I won. And they always say that, you want black people to be able to be in these movies, able to be three-dimensional. That these black characters in these movies should be allowed to have faults and not be perfect. But I think that's different from being a caricature. And then they started turning on her for how the movie she was in winning an award, Best Picture. So immediately there were people that turned on her because they said she was acting too ghetto and ratchet, which led into the whole, you accuse people, and it might have been the same crowd, I'll admit, but you accuse people of pushing respectability politics and their critique of her role in that movie, but then you do it to her when she's happy about winning her award. But to this next thing I wanted to get to. Hold on. All right. I don't know what's going on with that. All right. Back to this. Hold on. After Michael B. Jordan won his award, he said on stage that his dad flew in from Ghana. Shouldn't have been a big deal. All right. Immediately there was this a bunch of posts of people trying to make him Ghanaian. I saw all type of posts from people lying about his background, and I don't use the word, but immediately we started seeing that tether word getting thrown around because these people grabbed onto. Although I do think there's a lot of people on social just interactions. It's just them trying to get clicks because all these platforms now allow you to make money just off of getting the numbers. So it's not even about a real opinion in a lot of these cases. I just thought it was funny that in every one of these cases, whenever these Black Americans reach a certain level in their career, you just start seeing these rumors and these people trying to put them in other ethnicities. It's just crazy. But another thing I want to get to lastly on this center stuff, and once again, congratulations to them. I keep seeing this post. These people, once again, could be just engagement farming, but I keep seeing these people that keep making this pitch to have the Native Americans in the movie have their own film. And it's not necessary, obviously. They were just there for plot device and world building, but you keep seeing these people saying they want these Choctaw vampire hunters from Sinners to get a prequel or a spinoff. And once again, a lot of them is Black people. And you ask the same question like we always ask when these other people ask for other people to be brought in and given a platform by Black Americans. Why? Else in their spotlight. You Negroes always do this. And it's not even something that's necessarily the worst thing ever, because there is already books written that have this type of storyline. So there's no need for it to be tied to Sinners. But every time a Black American film, movie, something becomes this big, other groups immediately try and themselves onto it. And for some reason, Negroes try to help them. It's crazy. So when I saw this and I saw the reactions, like I said, people could be engagement farmers. So I just thought, here we go again. I've seen this like at least 10, 15 times. So it is what it is. But then I saw this one right here. I saw this post right here. This is what made me scratch my head. I'm Native and Choctaw specifically. It would be nice to get some representation from for us in media. There are certain tribes that tend to dominate the zeitgeist. You know who you are, and it just isn't an adequate spread. So this Native American, so-called Native American, wants his tribe to be platformed through Black people because the other Native tribes get too much attention and it's not spread out correctly. And then when people hop on these mentions and stuff and start mentioning how these Choctaw Indians had slaves and stuff, and then we even go even further when we start talking about who the original Choctaw was and what these people look like, then it becomes a problem. Now everybody's saying you bringing up race for no reason. It's just a movie. No, it ain't. It's y'all once again trying to ignore history while at the same time trying to erase it. What up, Craig? Craig said that's the problem with Black people. Black people are beautiful. Humanity has led to our undoing. Exactly. That's a fact. It's one of those things where you hear people say all the time how Black people are just so forgiving, and you show an inch of kindness. Not even kindness. You could just be, you could just be willing to just deal with us in some way. And Negroes just give you the open red carpet. You just treat it like one of the people. You just automatically, all this accepting energy is brought out. And I think part of this is because when it comes to Native American, there's been this, just like with Latinos in general, or quote unquote brown. We're going to get to that later, that Black and brown shit. There's been this thing where the things we've went through have been tied to Native Americans historically in this country. And so whenever Black Americans have any type of spotlight, or there's something that they're supporting that's gaining wide recognition, we immediately want to make sure we lift everybody else up, as Craig just said. But man, this is not good. It don't work in politics. It don't work in any social order. Man, you gotta be one. You gotta make sure yours first, and sometimes yours only. You gotta stop worrying about these other people. They damn sure wouldn't be trying to put you. If they had a movie with this type of movement, they wouldn't be trying to fight for you to get some type of spinoff about your culture. It just wouldn't happen. But it's funny because this same topic was happening. I talked about this 3 weeks ago when the Brazilians were mad because of some dumb comic argument, and they started calling Black Americans selfish because there was this idea of gatekeeping at all in the culture. These people are crazy. But anyway, congratulations to Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler and all the cast of Sinners. Congratulations to them. But I want to talk a little bit more about this here too. So, like I said, Teyana Taylor, she got an Oscar as well for her for the movie One Better After Another. And she's been getting a lot of media attention for the last year. She's been pushed a lot. She's been in a couple movies. I think she put out an album, a lot of stuff. She's been doing a lot of work. Congratulations to her. And I saw this right here was announced. And I said, oh, this must be the play. So as you can see here, Teyana Taylor named Chief Curator of Essence Fest 2026. And I said, oh, this must be the pivot. So all the backlash they got last year for Essence Fest and how poorly it performed, and then they supposedly still owe some money. I guess they just paying off those things late, but it'll get paid hopefully. So I'm wondering, is her participation in this going to be a one-year thing, or is this going to be the new normal where they'll try and get prominent people, particularly Black American, even though I'm pretty sure one of her parents are Caribbean, to try to get prominent Black people to come in and try and bring that umbrella back. Because I think for a while there, these people believe that they were going to be able to do things out in the open a lot more when it came to not just the Essence Festival, a lot of the things they're trying to do with integrating foreign cultures into Black America. But I think that the plan, like I believe, is to now use the Black American celebrities as like a cover. They thought they could do it in the open, like I said, but the backlash and negative covers were worth it. And they still having their shareholders over in Lagos. Still do that, but when we talk about the face of this, when we talk about how we brand this, it still needs to be somewhat connected to Black America. But maybe that's not all they're planning on doing. As you see here, we said ladies first, and we meant it, not just on the stage, but behind the scenes too. We are excited to announce Teyana Taylor is Teyana Taylor is stepping into the Chief Curator of 2026 Essence Festival, and you already know the vibes about to be next level. When we get down here, the post also noted that Teyana will work alongside her creative team, the aunties, to oversee the moments, the surprises, and everything in between. Taylor's appointment arrives as Essence Fest continues to roll out its programming for the July 3rd to 5th weekend in New Orleans. The first wave performance leans heavily into R&B with Kalani, Brandy, Monica, and Patti LaBelle set to headline the evening concert series at the Cesar Superdome. Hip-hop will also be represented with appearance from Cardi B and Lotto, though the early lineup emphasizes vocal-driven performance across generations. Kalani, let's just jump through daytime programming. Food and Wine Festival. So yeah, this is the new way they're going to try to rebrand this and push it back out to the public. And I'm wondering how much of this will be leaned on and supported by particularly Black women. Will Teyana Taylor be enough to repair the damage from last year? But we shall see. Let me get this now. This is just a quick update I want to do on Mr. Tendernism. I talked about him 3 weeks ago, and I said in the community post, we're going to speak on this a little bit. Hold on. Don't need to worry about this headline because this is an older article. This is an older article. Like I said, we already know that he stepped away. But now he has his own restaurant and stuff, and he's working with people to build his brand up. Continue to build it, should I say. And obviously, when you're doing that on social media, you must work with certain brands and influencers that continue the momentum. I'm disappointed in the people he decided to work with, but I get it. It's about engagement. Doesn't matter who likes or dislikes certain people. But man, when I saw this, I couldn't help but be just a little bit disappointed. Let me show this.
Oh man, look at him, man. Look at this tendernism. Boy, come here, man. Look at him. I'm ready. I'm finna give you something, boy. Look I'm ready. This here tendernism, man. Okay. Oh. Look at him, man. Look at him, man. Oh. Hey man, I just want you to try a little bit piece of that, man. Just try a little bit. Hey boy, look at him. Oh man, look at that. You tell me.
Look at him.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about. See what he do?
See, man.
Hey boy.
And I don't even want to hate, but
I tell you, tendernism. Boy, tendernism.
It's not necessary, man.
It's good. Booyah.
Shout out to Unc. Craig said, "Oh Lord." Shout out to Unc, man. Hey, get your money, get your engagement. You got to work. got to be careful with how you mix these brands too. That matter. The same one with this one right here. Now you got the Mexicans in there. Hey, man. But I also want to show this too. I didn't get a chance to get on this dude right here. This is from a couple weeks ago. This British dude decided to send some shots. He makes better barbecue. And I said, damn, all the way over there in the UK, in order to get clout, you decided to use this man's name. And these people that get in these people's DMs or their mentions and talk crazy to them, a lot of y'all be earning it. Because what is the point of this? What good comes from talking like this?
Paul, I'm upset, I'm actually vexed. Right about now, a lot of people saying that we slice our meat before we lift it. Does any of that look sliced to you? Any of it look sliced, pre-sliced? Okay, here's the test. You ready? UK tenderism, yeah? The home of UK tenderism. Joey Smokehouse. Be here or be nowhere.
Now he trying to use this man's brand. But see, that's the thing. When these people, as I said earlier with Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, when these people build these brands over here and it starts to spread out, it becomes a worldwide thing, these other people got to latch on. But I would imagine there's not too much positive that come from this outside of your own country. Because immediately you're going to be called a clout chaser. So what's the point? But I guess it's worth the meat, I guess. Now I want to get to this. I feel like there's a little bit of overreaction going on with this next story. Hold on. LaRussell delivers final statement in defense of Heaven Sent song. The Bay Area rapper has shared his last remarks about the song in which he said Donald Trump, Jeffrey Epstein, and Adolf Hitler are heaven sent. So let me play the clip right quick.
And I sent it off to my engineer, and he calls me. He said, man, you put this out. I said, what happened? He said, you talking about Epstein, it's a lot of shit going on. And I said, thank you for calling me. I'm finna drop this. That's exactly why we need it. Because everybody sit and be silent. And the goal of an artist is to express the times and say all the things that nobody else want to say or know how to say. I'm not perfect, and neither is the president. Was guiltier than a nigga hiding evidence. You can't be mad that they heated if you don't let them vent. Even the devil was heaven sent. Even Malcolm was heaven sent. Even Martin was heaven sent. Even Kanye was heaven sent.
This is where he went left.
We all heaven sent. Donald too. We all heaven sent.
Hey,
Epstein too.
the crowd's faces is funny
we all
though.
Heaven sent. Adolf too. We all heaven sent.
And that's where he went left. Dave got on this dude. I don't know if y'all know LaRussell. LaRussell is a rapper out of the Bay Area, like I said, West Coast. Shout out to him. He's been making this. He's kind of on this positive vibe music with substance. A couple weeks ago, he went viral because he said some comments about Wayne don't be rapping about shit. He got a lot of backlash. A lot of people got mad with him. I don't think he was all that wrong, but people was mad or whatever. And then this right here came out, and a whole bunch of people made him out to be the devil. I see Craig right here saying it's pandering. That may be true. But I saw this, and after all the backlash, I seen people saying how, he's done or whatever, how he's, he needs to apologize, all this other crazy stuff. I was like, damn, what did he say in this song? And I listened to it and I said, wait, what's the difference between what he just said and what you hear from every other Christian? Really, every other religious person, they say the same thing. I don't understand. I'm feeling like you can say it's pandering, but I 100% believe this is still backlash from what he said about Wayne. I don't think none of this is at all what they saying it was, how bad they're saying it was. The Epstein thing. They have finally did it. They've made Epstein the latest boogeyman. And what I mean by that is he's not the worst. He's just one of them. He's one of the. I get it. If you feel like he was trivializing Martin and Malcolm by putting them in that category, but these people, those people there are people that were in Epstein's files. There are people that was doing the stuff that he was doing in his files and his emails that are still alive. He wasn't a one of a kind. It's like with Hitler. People make it seem like he was the worst of the worst, but he was one of the Nazis. He was the leader of the Nazis, but there were dudes who was doing all type of experiments and stuff. They were the hands of the engine. They were doing it. He was just, he was the head of the machine, but he's just one of many. And I said, they found a way to, once again, all that possible pedophilia, cannibalism, trafficking, all the other stuff that Epstein did. They found a way to put it all on Epstein. Even though the files, the emails are right there. It wasn't just him. You don't have to make Epstein's name a name you scared to say out loud no more. It's other names of people that are still alive, people that are dignitaries, politicians all over the place, celebrities, people that are professors at colleges. Y'all have found a way to make him the boogeyman where it's just him, and it's not. Like, please stop it. He's not special. It's like people didn't learn anything. They learned nothing. They act like they have found a way to make him the only villain. When in reality, I think a lot of people do that. They make one person the villain so that they can find a way to live in some form of reality. Because they don't want to come to the realization that to those people that's empowered, that have that level of influence, that's how they view you. They view you as people they experiment on. They view you as people that's just useless breathers. Person, all these other people are bad, and as time goes on, they just move on and throw it on that one name becomes it. It's like Adolf Mustache. Like, nobody gets that mustache no more because that's a symbol of him. So in this right here, when he said this, as you said, it could be considered pandering, but he's been consistent in his music for the last however many years. He said this type of stuff, this positive energy. Once again, he said heaven sent. He didn't say heaven bound. That's something that he said. He never said heaven bound. I just wanted to say, please get off this man's. Get over the Lil Wayne shit. I feel like a lot of people on this dude because of the Lil Wayne comments, and he wasn't wrong. I'm sorry. Move on. The man signed with Roc Nation and became public enemy number one. He got the most attention he's ever had just by signing with a company, doing a deal with some music label. It turned into something it seemed like it's not even worth it at this point. People have spent more time trying to tear him down than actually just focusing on the music. But it is what it is. I just thought it was crazy. And it's funny too, because it reminds me a lot of what's about to happen with the whole Free Palestine comments. For years, people wouldn't even speak on it in public. They definitely wouldn't bring it up at award shows. And I keep seeing these people that's damn near trying to bully celebrities into speaking about Gaza. And it's like, you don't understand. The second a celebrity starts speaking about Gaza, it's going to lose impact. Yeah, it'll get louder. But if a celebrity saying Free Palestine is enough for you, if you so worried about Palestine and they're killing kids and blowing people up, innocent people, if you need a celebrity to come out and denounce it rather than going out on the streets and doing something about it yourself, because allegedly millions of y'all have been defending this. I'm not defending it, but attacking this, wanting to do something about it. They've signed laws on the books where you can't even boycott Israel in this country. So you worried about celebrities saying something when it's your politicians you should be focusing on. But what's going to happen is the celebrities will start saying it, like they did at the award show at the Oscar. They're going to start saying Free Palestine. They're going to start saying Free Gaza or whatever. And it's going to be oversaturated. And then it'll be announced possibly in the next couple months, next couple weeks, somebody like Netanyahu is dead. And then all the troubles of what's going on in Israel will be placed on him. He'll become Epstein. He'll become, the reason why they were doing all this stuff is because of Netanyahu. And then people will go back to not caring, and saying Free Palestine will be the same thing as saying Black Lives Matter. Something you put in your bio and move on with your life. It will mean nothing. But anyway, Enough of the virtue signaling. I want to show this to run through this because speaking of people trying to control a movement. Jamal Bryant apologizes after says he misread the room. So if you didn't know, because I haven't kept up with this Target boycott, because I don't go to Target anyway. Is anybody really participating in this at a high level? I know they said like last year that it really was affecting Target economically. I don't know how much, but apparently it was doing some type of damage. I don't know. Maybe it was hurting them more so as far as marketing. I don't know. But they've been doing this for like a while now. And I think at the top of the year, Jamal Bryant decided that he wanted to call for a Target fast, which means he was trying to co-opt the entire thing. He was trying to take it over. Somebody gave him a bag. Somebody gave him some money or promises down the line, and trying to announce, sort of like what Jay-Z did with Kaepernick. We're past kneeling. Kaepernick took that knee, regardless of why you took the knee. You could say he wasn't really no revolutionary, that he grew a fro randomly when he know he's about to get cut from the team and decided to do something for some attention. Regardless of what you think he did then, you could say at least now he's done real stuff. He's donated real money to Black organizations. He's done real things. Regardless of why he started it, he has done things that are real activist work. But anyway, and Jay-Z came in, said, F the NFL, and then he did a deal with the NFL and said, we done kneeling. So anyway, Virginia says, I still shop at Target from time to time. If the American Negro ain't gonna stop in general, ain't no opinion. That's facts. Deciding you're gonna stop shopping at one place because of something is, because they have other customers. And I doubt Black people are your biggest. The Black women who started the Target boycott said it was never Jamal's to end. And when I saw this, he tried to co-opt the movement from Black women. Oh, you fucked up. That was crazy. But see, the problem is because he runs a church, he got all these Black women in front of him all the time, and he gets to quote unquote run the crowd or whatever. He think that he has enough to just overshadow them when it comes to these politics. No, sir. That was just a dummy mission he was trying to do. I wonder if the bag was worth it. But 2 Minnesota-based Black women activists who claim to have started the ongoing national Target boycott more than a year ago are accusing megachurch pastor Jamal Bryant, former Ohio Senator Nina Turner, and Until Freedom activist Tamika Mallory of deliberately co-opting their economic protests and creating confusion over whether it has ended. To be clear, boycott over. Now, Tamika Mallory, last time I heard from her, she was signing a Cadillac deal. And Nina Turner, I'm surprised she's a part of this. I fuck with Nina Turner. Shout out to Nina Turner. So I don't know if she got herself jammed up in something with this. But two of Bryant's biggest critics have been Racial Justice Network leader Nakima Levi Armstrong and Black Lives Matter Minnesota chapter leader Monique Colors Dalty, who partnered with CARE Minnesota executive director and co-founded the National Target boycott in early February of 2025 in the Minneapolis hometown of Bullseye Brands World Headquarters. This is coming out. This right here came out after this right here, all the backlash he got from some people. He decided to come out and apologize. Let me play his apology.
I made assumptions that were not true. And I wanted to apologize to you for being a leader that was out of touch with what it is that the community wanted and sensed what it is that the community were demanding. It's much greater than those four, and I've heard you, overwhelmingly so. And not having a good read of the room, I take full responsibility of.
The only other time I've seen him apologize, I want to say it was him when he said sorry to Kevin Samuels passed. He went into his church. He got on that stage and he was talking crazy. He was saying how he died broke and yeah, he was out because he found out that Kevin Samuels apparently was a part of his frat. So he didn't apologize because the man passed away. He did it afterwards, but he did apologize when he found out that he's supposed to be one of his brothers in his fraternity. So I thought that was interesting. As Pastor Darby used to say, all these pastors are in these fraternities because they all boule and they all are being controlled. Every last one of them. But which is funny because I'm fresh. You have to pledge allegiance to, things that wouldn't be considered holy, but it is what it is. So we got apologies, and now we got to talk some more wins, some black wins, as I said. I want to show this here. Hold on. I forgot to show all this. I'm not gonna lie. Afroman prevails in cops music video defamation suit after a brief but viral trial. I ain't heard from Afroman since I was in like middle school. When he had a song come out in like the late 90s, and I was in like middle school. That was like the mid 2000s when his song when I first heard the song Because I Got High. Catchy song. I don't think it was meant to be taken that serious, but it got popular because a lot of people smoke weed and they like to listen to those type of songs, obviously. So Afroman, like 3 years ago, they kicked in his door to police, said there was some alleged drug trafficking and kidnapping happened on the warrant, kicked the door in, and it's all on tape. Everything is filmed in his house from his home camera. And you see the police, the SWAT coming through, breaking stuff, destroying his property, and apparently they even took some money. He made some after the fact. He made some songs, only his crowd, and went viral locally. I think he's in Ohio, and he was able to, I guess, make a little profit off of it, but no big deal. 3 years later, they decided to sue him for defamation for these songs. So let me just play the synopsis of the case. Let me play this.
Should have freedom of speech. I should be allowed to sing about my life. And police officers that violate my home, steal my money, should not be allowed to sue me.
In August of 2022, Adams County deputies raided the home of Joseph Foreman, better known as the rapper Afroman. They had a search warrant tied to an investigation into possible drugs and kidnapping victims.
They didn't charge me for any crimes. I know large amounts of marijuana or whatever narcotic they were saying. They didn't find any kidnapping victims.
Afroman was never charged with a crime after the raid. Deputies seized thousands of dollars in cash that was later returned, but Afroman says about $400 was never recovered. The raid also left damage throughout his home, and he says the department told him it was not responsible for paying for the repairs.
The guy started laughing and waddling his head. He goes, "We're not required to do that." And they were unapologetic.
Afroman used his own security footage from the raids in a music video to make money to pay for the damages sustained to his home.
I got freedom of speech, and then I used my personal life to write my music. I was going to clean my room, but then I got hot. Will you help me repair my gate? Will you help me repair my door? I'm singing about what actually happened to me.
Deputies who appear in the video are now suing the rapper for the damages caused by their faces being in the videos.
Hey, we raid your house, we steal your money, we disconnect your cameras. Now we need to sue you for saying something about it.
Afroman filed a countersuit for the damages to his home, and Judge Jonathan Hines dismissed those charges in February.
They dismissed all of my claims with the click of a mouse in some little office somewhere without a hearing.
Afroman believes this lawsuit violates his free speech rights as
When that's
an American and as a working artist in the United States.
As a working rapper that raps for a living and pays taxes to America, rap money, I need raw materials. Raw materials is my life experience.
Anyway, I said the same thing about J. Cole's album. Having real life experiences makes for better art. But anyway, I want to show some of these songs and what kind of happened. I'm not gonna play them all. This is one of the parts. This man sued him because he had a song saying that he slept with the cop's wife. So he sued for defamation.
So you're claiming that is the defamation statement, is that he said he had sex with your wife?
Yes.
Okay. And that's painted you in a false light?
It's caused tremendous pain in my life.
I'll get to that. We have to go through false light first. So does it paint you in a false light?
Yes, that my wife is cheating on me with Mr. Foreman.
But we all know that's not true, correct?
I don't know.
When you say, and everybody's saying the same thing in response to this, the case is over now. You don't know. So it's not, it wouldn't be defamation then if you don't even know if you could trust your wife to not sleep with another man. Wouldn't it have made more sense for your wife to sue for defamation, not you? That would have made way more sense, and you might have had a bigger, way. Craig said this cop was reaching. All of them were. The other guy, the pound cake dude, did something similar when he was saying how he was being sent pound cakes and threats to him, and he was calling him names and stuff. And like, well, that's not defamation. It's.
Wait, you don't know if your wife's cheating on you?
You want to go there?
No, I just want to ask that question because you said we don't know. I just
Been with
need
that
the answer.
woman since middle school.
I know.
I would hope. You know what? There, and it's out there. And it's a problem.
So it's something we cannot verify the truth of? Is it a thing that can be verified, true or false?
Ask your client.
Lord have mercy. So with all of this, I want to play this. I'm gonna play this song that he released. I'm not gonna play all of them. He had what's it called? Lemon Pound Cake. He had Lick 'em Low Lou, Lick 'em Low Lisa. I think that's her name. Her office of being a lesbian and doing having relations with all the other cops' wives and stuff. I think that song was like 13 minutes. Videos to all these songs, and once again, all these songs are old. They literally, because of this lawsuit, because of this trial, made all these songs go viral. But let me play this one here because I thought this was crazy. This is kind of funny.
Randy Walters is the son of a bitch. Yeah, that's why I fucked his wife and got filthy rich.
He high as hell right now too.
Stop stealing my dough.
So the song talking about, hey, fix my door, as he said in his and stop stealing. Craig laughing. Yes. He obviously won the case. They didn't win any money. They won at $25,000 per the cops. But he won his case as he should have. This should have been. Now, there was one case, by the way, one of the cops who was friends with, who was charged with pedophile stuff, child stuff, and so it's him of being one of them as well. And now he's saying that he suffered harm because now his kids' friends won't come over and stay the night with his kids because they say that he's a pedophile. That's unfortunate, but you started it. Y'all shouldn't have stole this man money. And when they kicked down his door, and he asked them, "Hey, are y'all gonna fix my door?" And they said some little sneak comment like, "Hey, that's not our job description, whatever." So you wouldn't fix his door, you wouldn't give him all his money back, and it's $400. Like you took like $5K, you kept why would you keep $400? Like what is the point? Like you taxing them like you the mafia or something? You making sure you get a little off the top? What are we doing? You instead of giving him all his money back, you kept it like you was taxing him or something. Like it's extortion. What the hell going on? But he won his case as he should have. And now you're giving him even more newfound fame that he only had back in like 2004, 2003 or whatever. Now you brought him back into the mainstream light. But I do see some critiques. I see the people, particularly black people, that's being real iffy on him because of where he lives is majority white. They pointing out he's wearing the whole American suit or whatever. He's trying to say he's MAGA. They show some pictures or whatever of him at Mar-a-Lago or whatever, around some people. I think he took a picture with Trump, if I'm not mistaken. But all he was there for was he wants to legalize marijuana. He wants free speech. He wants qualified immunity removed from police officers. And he wants, free speech and guns. I think he's more of a libertarian. I don't think he's right wing. As a matter of fact, he did an interview, I think, with Roland Martin, where he said, I should be a Republican because I make good money. That's that typical, capitalist mindset. Republicans are for lower taxes. If you got money, be a Republican. But he said he's not, but he should be or whatever. So they were trying to get him up out of here for that, but he was able to survive that too. But shout out to Afroman. These police in this country, man, I done seen some crazy stuff too, because the page that uploaded all this stuff, they upload all these other police stories. And the stories we don't see, like, they always tell you, there's hundreds of thousands of interactions between police and civilians every year, and majority of them walk away, nothing happening. But when it goes bad, like I said, there's just some jobs where as a person, you can't have a bad day. You can't have a bad day as a cop. You just can't. Because when you have a bad day, someone gets harmed, someone might possibly dies. It is what it is. That's why you're not considered a civilian. It's a higher standard. That's why you're supposed to get paid well. I'm not gonna say they do or don't, but that's how it's supposed to go. Speaking of people that be using that right wing grift, though, I gotta show some of these. I want to show some of these. So this is a TikToker who came out as a Trump supporter like a year ago. And, he was one of those people that was making videos about how Charlie Kirk's death harmed him or whatever. But now he's saying how he scammed the Trump supporters. I'm going to show you this here. Hold on.
I scammed MAGA for 30 bands. I got the money and ran. Charlie Kirk is dead now. So we clap our hands and we do the money dance. Trump's a homosexual. Trump a faggot for beefing with Iran. Why you trying to bomb Iran?
Now, I want to know, I saw a post from years supporter lied and said and nowhere to go and yada yada yada. She raised thousands of dollars, tens of thousands of dollars, used that money to pay off her tuition for college and went on by her life. So get your money, man. This a pivot. You only got a few years left with Trump. It's time to start the pivot. We've seen it with the Hires twins. We've seen it with some Asians. We've seen a lot of these so-called right-wing Trump supporters are starting to, they sense the waves are calming down a little bit. That storm is almost past, so it's time to go another route. I got no problem with it. Now, just know, be on your, try to find a way to sue you. They're going to try to, if you got a GoFundMe or some type of donation up, they're going to try to get it strike down. So get your money off them accounts quick. They're coming. This one right here is egregious. I knew about this dude like 5 years ago, Terrence K. Williams. The first time I saw this nigga was him in a car saying he would never want to go to Africa. And hey, I got no problem with that part. Saying he would never want to go to Africa, what he gonna go to Africa for, and then proceeded to eat a bucket of chicken in a car. That was just the most coonish, like, like, are we serious? But anyway, I'm going to show this clip here and show y'all how easy they run this game on these people. I bring it up all the time, how these people truly, truly still want their views validated so they can be called not racist. I'm not going to say being called racist is the N-word for white people. I'm not going to go that far. Being called racist is still a of a sting for them, unless you're talking about the base ones, the ones who just scorched the earth, they don't give a damn. So they still need black people to validate their opinions on things so that they can truly feel like they're not racist. Let me play this.
It's been so hard even trying to make a video about what happened to Charlie Kirk. When it happened, I couldn't even bring myself to even pull out my phone and do a video.
But you made sure to have your merch on for this one.
I didn't even want to talk about it because I didn't want to believe it.
Hey, they be scamming the hell out of these people.
And the Oscar goes to. And the Oscar goes to.
And the
This Negro. He don't give a fuck about. He didn't give a damn. He could give two left. He don't give a damn about no Charlie Kirk. Now I will say that it was very shrewd of him to not do like what's that dude named Tim Pool when Charlie Kirk first got hit. Everybody saw that video on the internet. He gonna tweet out, "I heard he's stable. Please, God." And like, you ain't heard shit about this. Do you see that blood that came out of his neck? You see how he fell limp? Did you see his wrist and his elbow clench up? Like, he's dead. He was dead on impact. You are lying. But, you know, people got on his ass afterward. But at least he played it off, waited a couple days, didn't say nothing, you know, so he could play it off better. So, better scammers, baby.
The Oscar goes to.
And the Oscar goes to.
I remember he did another video. I think I might have showed this one on the channel a few years ago, where he was saying he got on his account. He was like, "Y'all, they're trying to take my account. They're DMing me saying they're going to kill me. Please donate money so that I can get security for me and my family." I think he raised like, I want to say he raised like $25,000, $30,000 off of that. So every few months he hit him with a lick and get his money right. But hey, it is what it is. Get your money, black man. Speaking of scammers, though, our favorite mayor is trying to get back in the game, y'all. Oh, our favorite mayor is trying to strike again. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Embattled former Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is running for office in Georgia. She got ran out of Illinois for all that shit she was pulling. And she went to the scam.
Into decision 26, former Dalton Mayor Tiffany Henyard is attempting to restart her political career, but not here in Illinois. According to the Sun-Times, she's running for a seat on the Fulton County Board of Commissioners in the Georgia primary election. Henyard lost a re-election campaign for Dalton Mayor last year after facing an investigation into her conduct. Just 12% of the vote.
Hey, she had to go to the next city, baby. Grace said, Lord. And she had to jump ship. Y'all pushed her out. And she went to another city. You know what's funny is the Illinois media is still keeping up with her no matter where she goes. Now, I want to ask the question. Do we really believe she could possibly, because all the stuff she's done is on the internet, it's public record. Is it possible that Atlanta will let her in their politics? Do we really, I'll say Fulton County, let me say that. Do we really believe that'll happen? I should say Georgia. I don't know if she's in Fulton. I'm going to say Georgia. Do we think Georgia will let her in? Considering all the stuff that's been attached to them and what they mayors have been doing the last couple years, running the games they've been playing. This is just hilarious to me. I'm sorry. But with Atlanta, there was another story. The NBA had a event coming up where they were going to celebrate Magic City at the Atlanta Hawks game. It was supposed to be lemon pepper wings. It was supposed to be, you know, a celebration of Magic City. It wasn't going to be no strippers there, but it was supposed to be a celebration of the Magic City. And a white dude named Luke Connett, I think he played for the Spurs. or played for the Spurs. I don't know if he played for Atlanta now or not, but he was in the NBA, white dude, center, I believe. I think like 7. A piece where he was saying how and I hate the fact that it was a white that did it. Hate the fact that now it looks away, it reflects a certain way on the black people in Atlanta. Let me show this here.
This whole NBA canceled the Hawks Magic City promotion, which caused a whole lot of buzz online.
Atlanta's culture is far too rich to be reduced to a strip club. These are spaces where parents bring their kids.
Right. If you don't like it, don't come. It's a cultural institution.
When you saw the Hawks partnering with Magic City, you thought it just made sense.
Yeah, I was like, this is dope. This is so low years and being such a staple culture.
City in Atlanta, low key. I mean, the fact that everybody who never even been to Atlanta, it's like I don't think it was ever low key.
The NBA has a storied, history with Magic City. I mean, obviously, players would frequent the club, from Shaquille O'Neal signing his $120 million deal with the Lakers at Magic City, and then more recently, Lou Williams, sneaking out of the NBA bubble to get some wings.
I want to put this to bed. They excused me from the bubble to go to a funeral. The funeral home was a block away from Magic.
I feel like NBA culture and Magic City culture are kind of in a way, especially if you are, in Atlanta.
For sure. I do understand the other side too, because I used to take my daughters to the Hawks games, and I can imagine if there was a collaboration with a strip club and I didn't know about the culture, I probably would judge, like, why would they combine that? I don't want to bring my daughters. I could understand that side, but you have to stand in the same shoes in taking your daughter to a Cardi B concert. You have to be consistent in that. I think a lot of
who the hell is taking their daughter to a Cardi B concert? What up, Honorable? So now this conversation with this Magic City stuff turned into this, is it respectability politics? I don't want to attach this to what you would consider this. This isn't really black business. This was the NBA doing some type of work with a business in Atlanta. And a white dude came out and said, this is crazy. You're celebrating stripping in an NBA game. Are you really want us to bring our sons and daughters to this game and have shirts that City asking us, what is Magic City? I don't think anybody wanted to deal with that. And I don't think there's much of a other side to this, honestly. I guess you could say, look, if they were only celebrating the business itself, they were going to eat some wings or give free wings to the crowd. It was going to be more of a celebration of Atlanta itself, and just Magic City would just be the name. Then maybe so. I think T.I. was supposed to perform, I guess at the halftime show. Maybe in Atlanta, this is just so normal for them because they are not lying when they say that strip club is definitely ingrained in Atlanta. When you think of Atlanta, when you think about the nightlife, it's the strip joints. It's the strip club. Hell, when you talk about back in the day, we talk about the video evictions and stuff. A lot of them came out of Magic City, so it is what it is. But thank God they did what was right. Although maybe we don't even know about this if it wasn't for the Luke dude exposing it to everybody with his post. How many people was keeping up with whether or not the NBA was doing a Magic City event at the Atlanta Hawks game? Like, that probably could have been something that was just at the game. The crowd knows, the city knows. Maybe somebody makes a few posts online, but maybe it don't even get that big. Who knows? But unfortunately now, it looks like the white dude, he won the war at least, or the battle at least, I mean to say. They'll probably end up trying to do this again at some point. They'll just try to do it on a different thing. Although it's funny because people were making this point. Is this even a request under David Stern, the former whatchamacallit of the NBA, the person who ran the NBA before we got the Jew in there now. So it is what it is, man. Atlanta. Magic City. Man, I want to say more, but I'm going to leave it alone. because it can get to a point where I sound like one of those whatchamacallit dudes. So I'm gonna just leave it alone. But please, thank God it just didn't happen. Thank you. Thank God. Speaking of people trying to hide their culture, we're gonna show this right here. There's a lot of things coming to light. These people be talking crazy about Black Americans online, and you know, what's that girl name? The rapper from Atlanta, the biracial girl, Mulatto. He just announced a pregnancy, and all you see online is people saying, "Oh, look, Black Americans and their out of wedlock children." So they use this as constant critiques. But now we see the Hispanics is on the chopping block. Let me show this. Let me show this right here. Hold on. Investigation uncovers sexual abuse allegations against Cesar Chavez. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. Married, non-involved since 21 Black American. She's 21 Black American. Okay, yeah. But Cesar Chavez. What up, Dre? Cesar Chavez, one of his victims, I'm gonna say it the way they would say it. One of his victims came forward and said that she was sexually abused by him, assaulted by him, and given 2 pregnancies that she went full term with, and then gave the kids up for adoption or gave the kids to other people to raise. Now, there's 2 sides to this story, so I'm gonna start with her story first because it's funnier. So Cesar Chavez, as you know, he had holidays, statues. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just show a little bit of the video here to give a little context to this.
There are new revelations and allegations of sexual abuse and rape of women and minors by one of America's iconic civil rights and labor leaders, the late Cesar Chavez. A new investigation by the New York Times included the accounts of 2 women who are now 66 years old who allege that Chavez abused them during his time leading the union he co-founded in the late 1970s, United Farm Workers. Civil rights leader and the co-founder of that union, Chavez raped her back in the 60s. Our William Brangham has more.
Ooh, boy, they bringing them down, ain't they?
Jeff, in a public statement today, Dolores Huerta alleged that Chavez assaulted her in a vehicle. She said she stayed silent then and for decades after because, quote, "I believe that exposing the truth would hurt the farm worker movement I have spent my entire life fighting for. I have kept this secret long enough."
Nah, they ain't it. It's something else.
She says she was impregnated by Chavez and that those children were then raised by other families. The 2 other women who spoke to the Times were daughters of longtime organizers for the union. Both said Chavez's abuse went on for several years, starting at the ages of 12 and 13. Both suffered depression, panic attacks, and one attempted to end her life multiple times. At least a dozen other women told the Times that they had also been harassed by Chavez over many years. The reactions to all of this has been swift. A number of cities and organizations are now canceling upcoming celebrations or events that are tied to Cesar Chavez Day. And so for
quick, they got him up out of there quick. Hey, you know what's funny is you're in an election year. He was the face of the farmers movement, as they say, civil rights icon, all this other stuff. And man, oh man. Craig says, Cesar Chavez, oh my. Honorable says, the story crazy. She had 2 kids on the 2 assaults. I don't believe that this narrative. Of course we don't. Now we have brains. We know damn well she didn't get pregnant off 2 assaults. Like we know what more than likely was happening was she was having an affair with him. If I'm not mistaken, there was her brother-in-law. Like I think she was with his peoples. So out of all those kids she had, she popped up 2 more from him. And back then in the 60s, it probably was something that was look. In Hispanic culture, and once again, I'm not saying this is right or wrong, because Lord knows we see what they're doing to Corey Holcomb right now. He's saying stuff that they taking stuff that Corey Holcomb said in 2016 and using it to pull up, trying to call that man a pedo. It's like, whoa. So please know, I'm not saying I agree with what I'm about to say, but a lot of these other cultures outside of America do not agree with the age of consent here. Now, we can say we're the moral authority and this is how it should go. And yeah, I would agree. This is the healthiest way to do it, I believe. But when you talk about Mexico, what goes on in Latin America in general, we all, look, if you ever been to a school growing up and you had any Hispanic girls at your school, because they always try to use this on black girls, but it happened in that culture too. And you had any culture, if you have ever been around these Hispanics in middle school, high school, you more than likely saw them walk out of that school one day and hop into a damn sports car with some older Mexican dude. I said the same thing with the what's the kid name? David, the singer, who got accused of, at least is looking like he's guilty of doing something to that little Hispanic girl out in California. He had to cancel his tour and stuff, and now he's kind of being investigated for it. I said when we talked about that case that the loudest part of that case was, wait, she was what age going out to tour and staying off for weeks and months at a time? And the mama was just like, I never met him. I don't know how he looks. And it's like, how do you don't know how your daughter's boyfriend looked? Like, what are we doing? So that's their culture. That is normal for them. When they get popping, 13, 14, they start early. They start very early. What up, Kiefer? Dre says facts. Look at the Middle East. The Middle East is even worse. We hear some tragic stories out of the Middle East because it ain't just the little girls. They be doing stuff, and it's normal in their society to do stuff to the little boys. Like, they would rather, in their culture, they would rather do stuff to little boys than to have a promiscuous woman around them. They would rather do stuff. So their culture is all the way. We already seen it. There was a viral video a few weeks ago when they was trying to get on Patrice Lumumba ass. There was a viral video from the Congo of a 40-year-old man marrying a 11-year-old girl. Once again, we can disagree with it because it's not our culture. But that, you have to understand that these things are just how they move. So I'm sorry, when I see this case, I don't see that this man was doing something that was any different from any other Mexican or Hispanic man. He was doing what they all do. Dre said, look, facts, I'm from Texas, and I know I did. Bro, you see all kind of crazy stuff when you're 13, 14, 15 years old that you don't understand. And like I said, unfortunately, sometimes these things happen in our community too, but it definitely isn't something that's supported. It's definitely something that's frowned upon, or just an underbelly of the community where you just look at it and go, this is something that shouldn't have been happening, but it was, people slip through the cracks sometimes. For them, this is normal. Like it's about finding your husband and start having kids early for them. That's just a normal thing for them. So yes, when I look at this case, no, I do not believe this woman's word 100%. But I'm also not going to say that he didn't do some shady, messed up stuff to these young girls and he wasn't forcing himself on somebody. He had a lot of influence in his movement or whatever. And when people get power, it corrupts. He had a lot of influence and a lot of people respected him and got behind him. So it's kind of hard for people sometimes, women or little girls in this case, to speak out against those people. But yeah, we're not gonna act like they just these innocent. This is a rare occasion for us type thing.
It is a fair contract.
Tonight, shocking allegations that Latino labor rights icon Cesar Chavez, whose name is on schools and monuments across the country, sexually abused women and girls. Decades after his death, Dolores Huerta, now 95, who co-founded the
And she waited till she was 95. That's crazy.
United Farm Workers Union with Chavez, revealed in a statement he sexually assaulted her twice. The first time I was manipulated and pressured into having sex with him. The second time, I was forced against my will and in an environment where I felt trapped.
This is probably a distasteful joke, but if it really was 2 for 2, then that fertile thing must be real.
Huerta says the encounters resulted in 2 children with Chavez. I chose to keep my pregnancy secret, and after the children were born, I arranged for them to be raised by other families that could give them stable lives.
Now, I did hear from some people who try to give the opposite side of the story and said that she was kind of known to move a certain way back then, and that she did not give these children away to a random family. She gave these children to people in her family to raise them, which obviously changes how this looked. But so there's the other side to this, obviously.
Her statement came after the New York Times published an investigation detailing Huerta's account, along with 2 other women who say Chavez sexually abused them beginning when they were 12 and 13 years old. NBC News has not spoken with the women. One, Ana Murguia, is seen here next to Chavez during a march in 1975. The Times said it found extensive evidence to support the 2 women's claims through interviews with more than 60 people, union records, and confidential documents. Neither the paper nor NBC News have been able to corroborate Huerta's claims, which she said she kept secret for 60 years. Chavez, together with Huerta, led a movement widely credited with transforming farm labor in the United States.
So we get the point on this. Dre says in Nigeria, too, I think there's child marriage going on there. Hold on. Because Nigeria, if what I got right here is real, because like I said, I don't believe nothing on the internet. But if what I got right here, and I'll show this a little bit, if this is real, boy, oh boy, it's going, yeah. We'll get to that. Regina says sex and magic and rituals and sacrifice power. Yep. Let me get back to this now. Now, there's another theory that I'm seeing from what I guess you consider the right-wing Spanish people, Mexicans. They're saying the reason why they're coming out with this on Chavez is because his opinion on illegal immigration. This is back, obviously, Cesar Chavez, 1974, on illegal immigration.
Question of the illegals I find very interesting. Would you say that it's, at this particular moment, as important as any of the other problems facing the union?
Oh, yes. In the last 2 weeks, it has become an emergency for us. Well, there's an awful lot of illegals coming in. By the hundred, by the thousands, our people are not only in some of the crews where there's now strike breaking, some of those crews are 100% illegals. Outright, openly, with no attempt to disguise it. And so it's so bad now that we estimate 60 to 70% of the farm workers in California, of the resident worker, of the citizen, is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands.
Did you hear what this man said? He called these people wetbacks. Look at
the citizen is out of a job because of the wetbacks. They're coming in by the thousands. Just unbelievable. See, they're coming in with the consent of the Immigration Service, which is part of the Department of Justice. How else could they come? We, for instance, know that if you go to Coachella, you go to around the El Paso area, the secondary immigration checkpoints have been unmanned now for at least 3-4 weeks. They're closed. They're at night. They're dark. There aren't any patrolmen there. It's a gimmick. We think.
Is he complaining about the border protection? There's no way. No way. 1974, Cesar Chavez was saying the border protection is fugazi. This shit fake. He was calling these people wetbacks. He was saying, and now let me say this. Growing up, that movie Selena taught me that that one thing that movie did show me was that the Mexican Americans and the Mexicans from Mexico do not get along. The Mexicans up there think that the ones here are fake Mexicans. They don't speak proper Spanish, even though that's a colonized language. I don't know why that's so much better than English, but whatever. They look at them. The other side look at them as what he just said. They wetbacks. They're illegals. Craig said, "Damn, that's how he felt." That's how he felt completely. He said it with it was smooth coming out of his mouth. It wasn't no pause. He said this frequently. He said this a lot. This is his true opinion of these people that's coming across this border illegally. Virginia said, what does that sound like? I know what you're getting at. You know, the people on the continent versus how they look at Black Americans. There's this weird fake rivalry, one-sided, that one side didn't know that there was a rivalry, there was any competition. But, you know, we learned, they learned us, didn't they?
It is a prelude at the beginning to a big drive on the part of the administration and the Mexican government to bring the Bracero program again. It's a vicious attack on the local worker, and it's just one of those things that agribusiness thinks they can get away with it. And our job is to inform the whole country what's happening together with the boycott and solve it that way. And so
y'all get the point. There's a theory out there. I don't know how much I agree with it, that this stuff is being shined on him. These alleged abuse allegations are being public. I'm pretty sure they've been rumors for decades, because by the time we learned about it, the people in California, the people who are part of that civil rights movement, that farmers movement, they already knew the stuff that was said against him, obviously. The immigration thing is a big... So they're trying to separate the movement so that they can continue to bring illegals for that type of work. So you might not agree with that, but that's one of the theories people putting out there. But I want to show this too. Shout out to Central Valley. This person said, Dolores is not a victim. She's been a con man all her adult life. Now, I don't know this woman. I don't know none of this. So this is what this person is saying. This is just what I'm getting from them. Anybody living in Central Valley of California has ever worked in all of the Cesar and Dolores stories over the decades. They were a well-known item. It was the best-known secret in the Central Valley of California. She made bank off of Cesar Chavez and the UFW, and then she went on to create the Dolores Herta Foundation, which is another money-making racket for her and her family. Calling it a racket is funny to me. Did I have the other one? Yeah, there we go. She fielded the children out to family members who eventually raised the children. Apparently, her and her other children know about the two births, and they are all interactive these days. This scandal has been known for the left media always covers Dolores, no matter how much scandal was involved. I guess back some years ago, it wasn't in the cancel culture narrative, and they needed a Cesar and Dolores for stories about how bad farm workers were treated, and this whole sad situation, the media was complicit. Many in the media knew. Many politicians knew. Politicians in the media looked the other way. Their activity was common knowledge here in Central Valley for decades. Also, the women who were a part of the farmers movement, as I've read on this, they were also complicit in making sure certain things didn't come to light. So it wasn't just, outside people internally like, this is cool, but we just gonna make sure this don't come to light. These type of scandals. You can't have a adulterous wife and, the leader of the movement, doing nothing. But with that, we got to talk about this black and brown connection. Anima says, I don't know that woman either. I believe this comment. As she already said, she didn't. Yeah, she waited till she about to croak. She 95 years old. She about to be up out of here. It's like, I'm going to get this off my chest. Let me just shoot this shot. Maybe they told her to come out and say it. I'm not going to go that far, but So back to this black and brown movement. So I want to say this too. I know I'm talking shit right now. We joking on this, but in reality, they have came out and staunch defense of him. Talking about these Hispanics, Chicanos, they have came out in his defense. There's a lot of, I don't agree what he did, but there's a lot of buts been said by them. They're definitely defending him to not be completely removed from these monuments and schools and all this other. Trying to defend him, really. And I look around and I just go, man. And maybe we do this too much. We do this whole comparison thing, but I can't help but look at this situation. A woman came out alive with her own words and said, yes, this man did this to me. I have 2 pregnancies to prove it, yada, yada, yada. And their people are defending him. King Jr. has been accused of stuff by alphabet agencies, by the FBI, and Negroes believe it. We don't even almost fight off. We just go, hey man, the FBI said that. The narrative and the rumors of Martin Luther King running around with white women and people's wives have been going on for decades, and niggas don't really defend it that much. They just say, hey man, his work meant more. We not even trying to fight it off. We don't come to the defense of our so-called leaders the way these other groups do. But maybe we shouldn't. But maybe we need to get rid of that whole morality, more high ground bullshit that we do. Maybe we need to be a little bit more selfish and protect our own interests. But I'm gonna leave that alone. I'm gonna say we gotta watch politics quick to move, because like a campaign It's election season, baby. It's election year. So we got midterms coming up. Like you start the campaigning now. You don't wait till later. But this right here is a Hispanic woman. And obviously this Chavez stuff came out. They're coming to his defense. They're trying to support him. They're trying to pretty much call this woman a liar, saying she waited 60 years to say something. The Me Too movement is dead. We said this like 3 years ago. The Me Too movement is dead, and Joe Biden killed it. This woman came out and said, MO long-standing documentation according to FBI material. When are we going to see his name removed from everything? Or is it easier to erase Chicanos? So you saw them people come after yours, and your first thing to do is to point the finger at niggas. The first thought of yours is to point at the Negroes, point at one of their leaders and what they were accused of by the FBI. Difference is, lady, the FBI didn't accuse him of this. People, there's a difference. But anyway, Honorable says the main engagements. I'll take that because some files did come out. She's not lying about that from the FBI. I agree, it kind of did stay online. But even I can make an argument that support for Chavez right now is really just online. In the real world, nobody care about none of this stuff. And it's no one cares about Cesar Chavez. We care about that movement, the farmers movement. We don't give a damn about what he did or didn't do. We don't care about a statue. We don't care about a school name. The people complaining about that are Hispanics, are the Chicanos, because they taking a hit publicly to their politics. And that's not good for business. He fucking up the business. But that's all I got on the Cesar Chavez situation. I'm gonna move on now. But the last thing on Cesar Chavez I'm gonna say is, it's fun to see how they defend their own. It's crazy they turned it into a black thing. And I don't believe that woman 100%. That's all I got to say. All right. Now I'm about to double back. Dre brought up Nigeria earlier. He talked about their marriage culture, how they do a lot of child marriage and stuff. I'm going to say this again. Especially on Twitter or X, it's a lot of... I can't wait for Elon to bring this thing where you can block out regions or whatever, because it's so much engagement farming with relationships. People just lying. Like, people are posting and has nothing to do or said in the video, but you have to verify too many people just lying. I couldn't help but be like, I pray this is just engagement. This is taken out of context. This is fake. Because this right here, many girls have reportedly been raped and molested by men in Ozoro during what is being described as rape in the area. You heard that right. According to multiple reports and videos circulating online, I only seen one. That's why I'm saying I don't know if this is true. Today is said to be the day of the festival in Ozoro community, and girls are warned, not to go outside. It is alleged that any girl seen outside could be attacked and raped by groups of men. Foreigners who are unaware of the situation have reportedly fallen victim as well. There is Delta State University in Ozoro, and many female students may not be fully aware of the danger. It is disturbing that something like this could be tolerated in society. This is heartbreaking, and urgent action needs to be taken. Let me play a little bit of this. Nothing crazy happens in the video, if I'm not mistaken. So we ain't gotta worry about that. See these boys and men and crowds. This is crazy. A raping festival. So they go through, they see a woman, they run up on her. Now, like I said, there's a lot on here. People, but what do you? I think I remember the dude's name. This is his talking point, but I forgot his name. It was an old brother. It was an older black man. He was talking about Haitians. And he was saying how if you're in America, and it's not saying that all these people are doing this stuff like this, but when you are importing people from other cultures into your country, he was saying, is it okay for us to basically almost tell these people they must be careful who you accept from these other countries based off the culture they come from, or these people must completely denounce the culture they come from? Because these country with certain views and certain perceptions, it leads to here of immigrants that came through Mexico from Venezuela and all those other places. Those men came over here, those women came over here, and they immediately started committing certain crimes. I'm not saying America doesn't have a problem when it comes to women being sexually assaulted, sexually harassed. That already happens. That's something that needs to be dealt with an American society already. Particularly if we talk just about us, black society as a black, the black community only need to deal with it as well. But when we saw these people coming from Venezuela and stuff, and we saw men involve rape, these gang assaults, we saw these shootings happening, and a lot of the time it was towards women that they would consider easier targets. So when you see a video of dudes in a country having a rape festival, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, because like I say, I don't know if this is real or not, but at some point we have to be willing to say, hey, them people from there, blacklist. We can't force you to try to integrate into another society. You're too far gone. Your views and how you view certain things cannot be integrated into our society. It's going to be a conflict. Because this is insane. This is so far, because at first I thought this was like some type of joke. It's a sick joke. It's something that's, I wouldn't call it edgy. It's something just really, this sick thing that they do where they just chase girls around. They don't do nothing to them violently. They just chase them around. It's like a game, like a twisted game or whatever, but nothing violent supposed to happen. But I don't know if this is true or not. I don't know how this goes. Honorable says, we are watching like Carnival is nothing more than consensual, non-consensual grape groups. This is their culture. Well, same thing. Carnival, we especially up there in New York, you hear stories about every time those carnivals happen. I don't know if it's as bad as it once was, but there was a time where every time one of those carnivals happened, it was stabbings, shootings, sexual assaults. It was like that night, people, not one or two, but dozens of people will be harmed severely, some of them, and it got to a point where they were threatening to end the whole thing, but I guess they cleaned it up some. What up, Mr. Man? Hi, everyone. I just got back from Iran. Did you check out the Supreme Leader? Is he still croaking? Is he still alive, or they lying on that man? Let's see. Before we move on, I want to stop on this too. I want to show this. Tariq Nasheed. We officially grossed crowdfunding. A massive thank you to everyone who pitched in and shared. We stood on FBA business and made it happen. The momentum is unstoppable right now. Respect to the fam. So congratulations to Tariq Nasheed. Hey man, his supporters give him money, man. He it to him. Last I saw, they had like 4 hours to the deadline, and they were like a couple $1,000s away, and they got it, man. So his people got money. As he said, his supporters ain't broke. His supporters ain't broke. I'm thinking all time I would hear. Honorable said dry begging. That ain't dry. That's pretty. But I saw people saying that, and I haven't seen to prove this or nothing. I saw people saying that this is going to be, at least when they do these hidden color movies, typically they would go to the country or go to the place they're talking about, and they would do filming. They would do some cuts, some video cuts. They would do some scenery type stuff to try and get the feel of the story while they're telling the story, and these gems, you could be showing what they're talking about on the screen. I'm seeing people now saying that he's doing it with AI. Is that true? So if he's doing those scenes with AI now, then what do you need all the money for? Is that just to pay the people that's in it? Like, I ain't hating. I ain't got nothing to do with it. You spend your money, but I'm just like, AI then like less expensive than any other ones. Like, there's no need for travel outside of getting these people to one destination. But we'll just leave that alone, I guess. Animal said, dry begging mask as empowerment. Meanwhile, money being used for family vacation. He gonna have that white woman with her foot up in Jamaica. He gonna have his mama-in-law foot up in Jamaica getting rubbed down by some Jamaican dude. Oh Lord. Then he'll call him tethered on the way out. All right. Shout out to Tariq, man. Oh man, this world crazy. He called him tethered, and he going over there and getting his white mama-in-law wiped down by the Jamaican dude. Eat a little jerk chicken and get jerked. Oh, Tariq funny, man. Tariq funny, man. All right. Oh man, this world is crazy. How we go here now? Minnesota civil rights leader traveled to Selma to mark 61 years since Bloody Sunday. Bold. These people are getting bold, man. So the Minnesota civil rights people, the people who are talking about what's going on with the Somalians and all those people, they're leaders in Minnesota to show the connection between what they're doing right now and their fight for civil rights and what was going on in the 60s. They decided to take their ass to Selma to march. And I thought this was very disrespectful. Let me show this here. Okay, so how many times across the bridge? All right. There's another one. Hold on.
The movement is transformed from them and then to us and now. Because our time has come to defend our. Let's march with solemnity. Keep hope alive! 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 Keep hope.
They need you and your culture for validation. We've been saying this for years, so it's nothing new. Honorable says, funny how every group we wasted our time fighting for civil rights are now following the blueprint. They all do. Watch out. It get worse though. Watch this. Keep hope alive. Keep hope alive. Se siente, Minnesota está presente. Now they're saying it in Spanish.
Se ve, se siente. Let
me fast forward. I'm gonna get to this next part. Hold on.
Oh, deep in
they singing "We Shall Overcome." Mr. Man says Somalians are our replacement. Amber says not the spiritual. They brought out the spirituals. They wanted you to feel something when they went on that Edmund Pettus Bridge. They've been going across this bridge, as what we call this there, for so many years. As in John Lewis, he loved telling that story about getting his ass whooped by them. He spilled blood in Selma. He wanted you to know that he spilled blood in the movement. But at least when he did it, it was for an actual honorable cause. When I asked the question, what the hell are y'all fighting and what are you overcoming? What are you overcoming? What are the people coming from Minnesota, considering what's in the news, is scamming and illegal fraud and going on and illegal immigration. So when you go to Selma and go across that bridge and sing that song, what are you overcoming? What righteousness are you supposed to be pushing forward? Well, as we these people use, you are the forever. It works two ways against Black Americans. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, you're the perpetual victim. What happened? Felt like they've been done wrong, to use it to compare to what happened to you, to let the world know how bad they're being treated. But also, you're a perpetual victim. You're always complaining. You don't do something about it. Da 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 da. So they use both ends against you. So no matter what you do, you're always going to be the villain to them. And then when they try to use history, what happened to those people back then when they were doing those things, try to use that now for a whole different. If you try and cut it off and make sure you show that there is a difference and a distinction between the two, they say phobic. They say now they'll call you anti-Black for being against this. They'll call you a Black nationalist. That's racist. They'll call you racist. This country's crazy. Michigan don't want Black Americans to get reparations. Yeah, I stopped them while they walking down. Person local walked up to them while they was walking and said, "Hey, what is your opinion on reparations?" I wonder what they would have said.
Moving to transform from dim and dim to our now. This is our moment because our time to defend our rights. This is my great legacy. Let's march with solemnity. Keep hope alive! 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 Keep hope alive!
People saying that Black Americans should be in solidarity with immigrants, and then them going down to Selma where our ancestors marched due to persecution. Them trying to marching on that same bridge, to me, feels intentionally disrespectful, regardless of how they try to flip it and make it seem like, oh, well, we're standing in solidarity and in honor of the civil rights movement, as if their struggles were our ancestors, our grandmothers and great-grandmothers' struggles. Their struggles are not our people's struggles. It's not even to the same thing.
Exactly. And another thing, another thing that I noticed, because I talked about this last episode, and I talked about the left-wing Marxist, progressive, what do you want to call them, how they kind of dismissed the identity politics, and how there's a little bit of resent they have towards Black Americans, because being that civil rights was the most successful progressive movement, it became the blueprint, and Black Americans immediately became the center of any type of rights movement in this country. You can't push any type of civil rights ideology or movement without including Black people. So any Black person that's not willing to stand with everybody is considered the enemy, the bad person, the bad apple. So that's why they'll tell you got to just go along with certain things said to Black Americans or about Black Americans because for the greater good. So what's his name? Mamdani's wife. Well, first Mamdani himself, the mayor of New York, we saw that it was exposed that when he went to college, he marked down he was African American because he faked like he didn't understand nationality and race at that point. I'm Indian, but I was born in Africa. I'm an African American. You know damn well you're not. But it's not even the point. So it's now been shown that his girlfriend or wife that he's with now, somebody found some messages he posted where she said nigga, and he was talking crazy about some other stuff or whatever. And immediately he was 15, like, okay, 15-year-olds know what racism is. Then the next justification is, well, that was in 2013, and around that time, suburban kids or white kids, that was normal to use slurs. These are the left-wing people. These ain't the conservatives that's defending it. And we know they would too, so I'm not saying that they wouldn't. They would defend it too. And the bigger point isn't even whether she said it, who cares? Whatever. The point is how quick they are to dismiss it. And if you're a black person and you even decide to show any level of offense, then you're wrong. You're the bad guy. Which is why that side of the politics is just as wrong as the other side. Because both sides look at you as somebody who's in the way from what they're really trying to do. You're a stumbling block. You're hard-headed. You won't do what they want you to do. We know what's best. Just listen to us, do what we tell you to do, and things will get better. And most of the time when that happened is, we saw what happened with the other civil rights movement, where it led to something that was supposed to be for black people. And then we end up getting the smallest part of the pie and the least amount of the crumbs, and they end up going to white women anyway. But it is what it is. I showed this message right here in the community from these so-called left-wingers. This person said, why would you consider a black American fleeing from Crow South less of a settler than an Israeli Jew fleeing from pogroms? Which is that constant comparison to Zionism. Black nationalism is Zionism to them. It's the same hatred, desire to kill, and to be an ethno state. And it's, like I said, one is to get away from people who are harming you or trying to, and the other one is to destroy people so that you can continue to build something bigger that you lied that was promised to you 3,000 years ago. But anyway, I want to show this right here too. Is why they're painting black Americans as the enemy. This is what these Asians and all these other people are saying about particularly people on the continent. This post got 20 million views and 137,000 likes. Once again, could be engagement, trying to get engagement, whatever. This is the Japanese person. So the Japanese person is the one who said a comment about black Americans being settlers. And they also said this. Regarding the question, why hasn't Africa developed despite years of economic aid? I do have a sort of answer in mind. It comes from a TV show I saw as a kid, where there was a segment about Japanese farmers going to the local area to provide technical guidance. The locals tried the potatoes the Japanese had brought from home and got all excited, shouting, "Kinta kinta." I don't know how to say that word. Kinta, Kikoya, whatever, Kintoya, whatever. So I guess there was sweet potatoes. They taught them civilization methods, and left behind a ton of seed potatoes. But when they revisited the village later, the Africans had eaten every last one without planting any. And on top of that, without a hint of remorse, they said things like, "Japanese people give us more." So the farmers muttered, "That's why they haven't developed." As a kid, I thought, yeah, that makes sense. So they just called these African people incompetent, dumb, lazy. But these are the people that's supposed to be allies to everybody. These people walk around with this extreme, yeah. Mystery Man said, Trump clown the Japanese prime minister. Trump clown everybody. The only person Trump hasn't said nothing too slick about is Kim Jong-un. I feel like it's the only person he hasn't said nothing punch at a little bit, because that dude crazy. He's looking for a reason to do anything. Even with this shit they're doing with Iran, they make sure whenever they're doing something with Taiwan and China or Iran or Iraq or Afghanistan, even when they go and try to do some stuff, some military drills with South Korea, they make sure they don't even cross North Korea's airspace. They stay the hell away from them. In Israel, yeah, it definitely is. No, actually, no. Remember, there was a little time there in 2020, 2019, 2020-ish, where Israel showed their real face and how they was getting behind Biden. And Trump had a little bit of comments about Netanyahu. That's when they had the other prime minister though, who got jammed up with some cases, and somehow how Netanyahu got his job back is that's a damn television show. That's some House of Cards shit. How Netanyahu did that. The man got hit with some charges, technically lost a race, but didn't lose it. It kept counting and redoing it, and somehow he was able to fight and get his job as prime minister. It's crazy. That's a whole movie. But yeah, he has some words with Netanyahu though. All right, let me show this here.
Black Americans home. Locals are being priced out. So what went wrong? To fully understand this, we have to go back to 2019 when Ghana launched its Year of Return campaign, a government-led invitation for people in the African diaspora to journey home. 400 years after the arrival of the first enslaved Africans to Virginia. Ghana followed up with Beyond the Return, a 10-year strategy focused on investment.
Benjamin said that's what Trump gonna try. We'll see. We'll see if he can pull it off. I don't know about all that.
Investment, tourism, and resettlement. But the story of return is more complex. Starting, they're being priced out of their own homes.
Before I even go too deeper into the video, basically in Ghana, they're starting to accuse Black Americans of gentrifying certain places in Ghana.
Just take a look at one night out in Accra. A VIP table at a major concert can cost thousands of dollars. An after party is usually around $50. That means a single group might spend more in a few hours on tickets, bottle service, and Ubers than a public school teacher earns in a month. In areas like East Legon and Osu, rents have doubled or tripled since 2019.
Now that was the start of the Year of Return.
And many landlords are requiring a year to 2 years rent up front to move in. It's technically illegal, but it's still happening.
It's almost like they're doing it because they see that some foreigners are moving there and they're raising the prices based off of them and not what the locals are making. They're trying to just get their money.
It is getting out of hand, and nobody's talking about the government. Nobody about it.
Accra gentrified.
On top of that, Ghana is currently undergoing its 17th International Monetary Fund debt bailout. This typically means that the government accepts loans in exchange for implementing what the IMF calls structural adjustments, like cutting public jobs and social spending, privatizing state assets, and opening markets. For Ghanaians, that leads to increased taxes, higher fuel prices, and other austerity measures that heavily impact their quality of life. Meanwhile, the World Bank encourages Ghana to lean on heritage tourism as a way to boost its economy. That is why the Ghanaian government is inviting the African diaspora home. So is it really about solidarity and reconnection, or is it simply a money grab?
That's what it always was. We said this a while ago, though. It was always an economic reason. And that's why I keep saying I give Ghana, the Ghanaian, all those Western countries, Western African countries. He did it the smoothest. But it was clear from day one what the plan was. We trying to get y'all over here, get that money in our economy, and we'll deal with the rest later. Virginia says, I thought American blacks were African though. Now they're getting gentrified. Now they're gentrifying their alleged homeland. Crazy word, crazy spell. Well, now it's about, it's not, they don't just want you to come to Ghana, buy land, a house, and just come over there for vacation. They're trying to make you completely assimilate to the locals. So they want you to start businesses. They want you to completely put all your cash flow in their economy, so that it can stabilize in other ways. Because right now, the people who coming off the best with this are people who own land, because they're doubling and tripling the prices of stuff they're selling because, hey, there's Americans, there's Caribbeans, there's, if I'm not mistaken, I saw a little a numbers thing. Black Americans don't even make up the top 5% of foreigners. It's made of Asians, I think it was Europeans, so-called African European, the ones who coming back. So Canadians was more of them, and I think Nigerians was higher. There's more Nigerians in Ghana than Black Americans. The Black Americans are not even that many of them, but they became the centerpiece for this story, and we know why. They're trying to get their money and get an influx into their economy. What we got? I'm gonna run through. I'm gonna do this last segment because I can't lie. I'm barely able to talk right now. Yeah, hold on. All right, let me run through this. Representative Jasmine Crockett confirmed security team member killed by Dallas police in standoff. This is kind of crazy. Do I have the video? Did I delete it? I think I deleted it. I can just read it. Democratic U.S. Representative Jasmine Crockett on Monday confirmed that a 39-year-old man who was killed in a standoff by Dallas officers last week was a member of her security team who had been using a fraudulent identity. Mr. Man said, I want to go to Africa and open up sandal store. But she's saying the man that she hired as her security he's had a fake identity. And I saw so many people going in on her saying how dumb she was to have somebody on her team with a fake identity. And I'm like, whoa. There was a politician out of California, a woman, whose driver was a Chinese spy for 10, 15 years? Her driver was a literal spy. There was another dude, politician out in DC who was having an affair. Was it Ling? I forgot her name. Who was having an affair with a Chinese spy. So hold on. These people get in position sometimes. They do a background check, and some people are good at getting through the cracks. It is what it is. But Damian Robinson lived as Mike King for years. That's a crazy name that seemed fake. Mike King. For years, during which he operated security businesses and hired off-duty officers. Dallas police said during a Monday press conference, Robinson's real identity was exposed after Irving police put out a bulletin for a vehicle with stolen government plates, which a Dallas officer had seen while working with Robinson as a security job 6 months earlier. Robinson fled Dallas police, who attempted to pull him over on March 11th, escaping a brief chase before being located once more in a hospital parking garage. Officials said after an hours-long standoff with negotiators, officers shot and killed Robinson after he stepped out of the vehicle and drew a handgun. So he'd rather die than get caught up. I can't lie, I didn't keep up on this, and I'm wondering, he posed as a federal officer under the Specialty Dignitary Police, a non-existent agency he created identification cards. Officials said he also had 2 active felony theft warrants from 2017, a parole violation, 2 vehicles with stolen government plates, and multiple stolen firearms, including the one he produced before being shot. What was his agenda? Honorable says, imagine now this would have played out if she won. Oh boy. But when I read this, it didn't really say if he had an agenda or if he was just somebody who wanted to be a Secret Service agent or security for her. I shouldn't say Secret Service. I mean to say he just wanted to be security for somebody. Other motives, obviously. But I will say this, regardless what you think about her, prayers to her, because they look like somebody trying to make a move on her, so that's kind of crazy. This is old. I don't know if I want to get into this now. I was going to speak about the Jesse Jackson funeral, but it's kind of old at this point. I want to play this part, though. I just want to play this. Hold on.
Let me just say, I predicted a lot about what's happening right now.
Some people are they're just not good politicians. This is a terrible politician. You don't say this. This is every time this woman speaks publicly, I feel like she says something that just is going to anger people. You have no reason to say this. You're at a funeral. Allegedly, the son said he didn't want the political. He invited everybody from both sides of the political aisle. Why would you say this? So you better think a union member.
I'm not into saying I told you so, but we did see it coming.
Keep in mind, this is about a dead man's funeral. She talking about Trump and smiling and saying how she was right about something. Like, come on, this is the worst time to do this.
But what I did not predict is that we would not have Jesse Jackson with us right now to help us get through this.
So before you get to his death, let me say I was right. So this is why people, I'm going to say it. This is why the Democratic Party is about to throw black women out of the car. I'm going to say it. This is what's about to happen, right? It started with this push with Stacey Abrams. She ran twice, lost. They ran Kamala Harris, she lost. They pushed, what's her name? Jasmine Crockett. They pushed her for a couple months. She ran to a higher office she didn't need to run for. She could have won her other seat. She lost. This is why they're about to wipe their hands of a particular type of black female politicians. They're about to move away from the sister girl stuff because it's lost every time. It's lost every time, and y'all still don't get it. You come off as an incredibly obnoxious, selfish. Let's just, good Lord. Jenna says, and she keeps repeating it everywhere she goes. And yet she missed us not viewing her as a black woman. She's been harming female politics. I don't think she is. Because she's running for president, G. Nah. I don't think so. I think she said that comment in that interview when she got a book coming. So I'm not going to tell you I'm not running. I got a book out. I don't think she's running. I think they've already told her to sit the hell down. When Wes Moore came out and said, I'm actually Black American. My family's from South Carolina and they left and went to Jamaica because of the KKK. But I'm Black American. My whole family is from here, from the South. You was a proud immigrant a few years ago. Now you are actually Black American. All right, I see what's going on. That's their guy. Wes Moore, I think Newsom is trying to get in. There's a few other people. I don't think they're going to run as many women as they did in 2016 or 2020. I don't think it's going to be that many women. You don't have Elizabeth Warren or Amy Klobuchar, or you're not getting Kamala Harris. You're not getting all these other people. I think it's going to be majority men, particularly white, and it's going to be a couple black dudes. It's because of that husband of hers. Oh, you think he pulling the strings? You think he's been a true Jew, huh? You think he really pulling the strings behind the scenes? And that makes sense. She lost because of her attachment to AIPAC, or she lost her attachment to Israel, though. Will you denounce certain things? She said she would go to war with Iran. Now she's trying to act doing something to do. Ukraine, they don't even talk about that no more. She said she would do something with Russia. Clinton said she would do something with Russia, but news. Generals are true untouchable. Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think about the husband impact on her decision making as much. Like, I feel like her marriage to him is as political as Obama's to Michelle Obama. He married her because it made him stable within a culture. He was seen as black. Nobody questioned it at first because look at Michelle. Like, we know what she is. She's from Chicago. It made him stable. But her decision to marry the Jewish dude, I thought was more so attachment to Israel for Israel reasons. But if you're saying that he's the ambition behind her, he's the one pulling the strings, I don't know. Richmond said at least she wasn't on the Epstein files. Nah, they couldn't have her there. She was too Billy. What's his name? Damn, she was with Willie Brown, so she didn't need to go to Epstein Island. She was with Willie Brown. Adam says the way he teared up, he's gonna get revenge. Not voting her in. Oh man, the Goyim. All right, let me play this. I'm not gonna play this whole thing. This is the Sun.
I listened for several hours of 3 United States presidents who do not know Jesse Jackson. He maintained a tense relationship with the political order, not because the presidents were white or black, but the demands of our message, the demands of speaking for the least of these, those who were disinherited, the damned, the dispossessed, the disrespected, demanded not Democratic or Republican solutions, but demanded a consistent, prophetic voice that at no point in time ever sold us out as a people.
Now, what's funny is people pointed this out. The real reason he was mad with Obama and them is not just because they came there being political, because Obama didn't pardon him a few years ago. He had to serve some jail time, so he's still pissed off with Obama. And the rest of them, they haven't done anything to try and you know how you got the Clinton family, you got the Bushes, you got the Obamas, you got all these different families that are kind of they're treated like houses in this country, where it's like different sectors have certain control and influence. None of them ever live or make prominent the Jackson family. They're all trying to be into politics, but they kind of just use them to push the civil rights icon thing, throw some support behind them, and kind of push them back into the back room. So that was all about. Is that Janet Newman? He looked different here. I don't know about Janet Newman. I haven't kept up with that. Next up, jump into something different. It's probably one of the last things I'm going to talk about. I'm going to get up out of here after this. Yeah. I'm going to play a little bit of this. I'm going to run through these last videos and I'm going to get out of here.
Everybody.
This is Alex Jones is back on the prowl. He back pushing his stuff. He never stopped, but he's starting to gain more pop culture reverence again. He's not completely that thing he said about, what's that school called? I don't forgot the name of it. The kids that was killed in Texas. The whole family sued him, won like $1 billion. He had to sell everything. I forgot the name of it. Anyway, after that scandal, he's starting to pull himself back up. I'm seeing people, he's not being as ostracized anymore. People are starting to look at some of the stuff he said, outside of that, obviously. And like always, he mixes a lot of truth with lies. And you don't know it's truth until it comes out and you go, oh, he wasn't lying. Let me play a little bit of this.
He focuses on the codes. Okay, we're delivering the beef jerky. We're walking it up. You know, it's so delicious. I want the jerky live, not dead.
The recipe. They ask about that. You know what I mean? I had an AI go through all the beef jerky references just to see it. How many times does he ask for the new recipe? There's another recipe.
We brought it. The grape soda and the pizza. But there's hundreds and hundreds where we're delivering the sex slave to the Hyatt.
Right.
And then later, I sent in the young operative. She's been under our control since, she's 14. I had to discipline her and torture her afterwards. But she, I mean, it's in Zorro, and it's also cloning, buying, because there's a reason for this. He owned his own island and there's famous videos of him like 20 years ago with these beautiful black supermodels. And this
is the video he's talking about right here. Hold on. Yeah, I got rid of that one too. I got the video of him saying he's with some black women. He asked them how old they are, where they're from. He literally asked them right there, I want your eggs. I think I played that video before. He said, I want your eggs because your eggs are so powerful, yada, yada, yada. It can solve all the issues in the world. And then women got kind of uncomfortable and kind of like, what the fuck? But they kind of realized who they was around at that point.
Black genetics or anything black, whether it's a horse or a cow or a human, is dominant. White is recessive or a mutant. So with stem cells, black is better. So definitely Africa. So you got Peter Nygaard, who was Herbert Walker Bush and all them. He's sitting there at an auction trying to get black women to sell them their babies. First he says, I want your placenta, I want your period blood, but I'll pay you for a baby even more. So they get them pregnant. They use the artificial insemination. Then at 8 months, they harvest the baby. It's legal to kill it. And then the stem cells are like hundreds of times better. Okay, so this is real adrenochrome because it's your child. And then it's just like, you can get a kidney from your dad or your mom. And then they suck the bone marrow out, the blood, everything. And then Nygaard is on TV sucking the blood of his children on air. So real vampires literally kill their own children.
Jesus Christ.
Now, what he just said sound like what the hell is he talking about? But I remember a few years ago, he was talking about a case that was happening in Virginia where there was a situation at a Planned Parenthood, where he said, hey, they have on the books that if a baby was born, they still have the decision to up to 9 months to end it. And everybody said, this dude's lying. See, here he go lying again. But then the court case came out and the video came out of the judge asking the question, if the pregnancy reaches 9 months, can you still do this? And they said yes. And so he was not lying. He was telling the truth. But I'm just saying, he said something, you think he's lying, then you go look it up and it's like, oh, see? Look broke. If he look like he got some money, they're going to get his ass back in court immediately. Sue him again. Our Mr. Man said, sound like Randy the Macho Man Savage. Curry said, this fucking guy. Like I said earlier with the LaRussell thing and people going up in arms about what he said about Epstein and Adolf Hitler and stuff, is people like to just push things to the back of their conscience and act like they didn't hear or see what happened, because no one wants to live in a reality where they know all this stuff, Now I'll play this. Let me play this. This is this dude. This is Laverne Cox. Listen to what he said in this clip.
And there's been a rise in anti-Semitism all over the country right now. And it's horrible. People should first things that the Nazis did, and I think it was in 1933, was they burned Magnus Hirschfeld's gender for sexuality. Magnus Hirschfeld was studying trans people, LGBTQ people. Lily Elbe, who the Danish girl, Magnus Hirschfeld's clinic, the Nazis burned it down. All of this research. And
let's hear that again, please.
One of the first things that the Nazis did, and I think it was in 1933, was they burned for sexuality. Magnus Hirschfeld was.
I don't think he knew what he was admitting to when he said this. You're saying that this trans thing that exists here in America was started by Jewish people. You're saying they started this. Now, there's another thing that a certain person who we considered evil throughout history, which is he did a lot of harm. He said that these people brought toxic morality to his country, his people. Actually, one who runs the porn industry. He said that these people destroyed their economy. Actually, who runs the banks here? That's all I'm gonna say. I'm not a Nazi. I don't subscribe to the ideology. I'm just saying this stuff is getting kind of, people are admitting to a lot of things. One more thing. We're going to stay on this a little bit. This right here. Remember this? When we saw these people crawling out of tunnels in New York. Not homeboy. I don't understand trans. And this kind of went away in the media. When this came out, it was a little bit of a story, and then it kind of went away, and it was explained away or whatever. Well, apparently we have another explanation. Let me play
We finally got our answer about the Brooklyn tunnels.
David, if you could explain, why was there a mattress in the tunnels, and what is the stain? A lot of folks are wondering, is this stain feces?
No, it's not feces.
What is
stain
it?
is blood, and basically we did rituals. I said that before. There were some rituals that we do in the tunnels, and sometimes the rituals might involve someone who recently died, and we'll bring them down there, and we're trying to do a ritual to bring back the Messiah, which is a Schneerson, if you heard about him on the news. So he died many years ago, but we have rituals that we believe we can bring him back.
I'm really relieved that there are no
These are this world is crazy. Well, it's crazy. It's also funny to me that there's a thing they do in their culture. When a baby is born, when a baby is born in their culture and they cut the foreskin, the rabbi who cuts the foreskin puts his mouth on the baby's penis and sucks the blood, and that's considered normal. These people are crazy. People said, what the hell? Regina, what? Yes, he said that on a podcast loudly, stood on it, because that's what they do. They stand on what they say because they know you have no power to stop them from doing it. If you try to, we're going to call you anti-Semitic and keep it moving. Regina, they not like us. They ain't human. Well, you saw what's the name just told you they vampires, but anyway, hopefully they don't kick this damn video down. I want to show one last thing on the so-called Jews. Let me show one more thing on them.
Israeli developer is building a controversial real estate project in Kenya.
We want people who come to live with us and live our dream together with us.
And people across Kenya are outraged.
Africa is getting recolonized. That's a fact.
Is Kenya losing land to Israel?
Colonial Israel is getting ready to enter the fray.
The developer says he wants Israelis to come to Kenya and create an agricultural community with Kenyans.
We want to bring the dream of a community between Israeli teenager and Kenyan teenager.
How did you identify this land?
I think God brought me here.
But this Kenyan lawyer...
Oh, man, we heard that before.
How did you identify this land?
I think God brought me here.
But this Kenyan...
They're going to do the same thing that he told those damn Palestinians. They're going to say, God promised it to me 3,000 years ago. Same thing you hear those South Africans, Afrikaners saying too, saying how they were the ones that they were the first people to step foot and create a civilized society in South Africa, that they are indigenous. They saying this now, but in another 30, 20, 30, 40, 50 years, they're going to say Kenya it was never land. We had to develop it. It was just a field. It was just rural area. We made it into something. Jane said, them folks is the real X-Files. They got to go. Speaking of rituals. Ooh, boy.
Lawyer who wrote about the plan says many in the country feel it dredges up memory of when Kenya was a British colony.
To see new people coming in, buying large tracts of land, reawakens that feeling of dispossession. And then the added drama of it being an Israeli person in the midst of the genocide.
Many Kenyans learned about the 520-acre land development project when the Israeli investor was interviewed on a Kenyan TV show. The show normally features Kenyan stories, but this episode featured his pitch to sell residential and vacation homes on land he says will include a school, pools, and line.
You know, to them and give up more land so that we can build more, and your half of damn Kenya will belong to somebody else, and then you'll be crying and saying you were colonized and whatever. How about not selling them the land? How about that? You're gonna say this highly educated all of this on to take fall scams, man.
These are up for grabs.
It's also just desperation. Somebody coming in willing to build infrastructure. It's just they just go along with it. They just see they don't have the same relationship with these type of things as people outside of the continent, I believe. The lies they've been told is just to them, hey, it don't matter. You built wells, you built schools. Their perception of white people is, even though their governments are all type of giving away because they just selling them out like crazy. When they meet white people in their face, they're giving them water, food, they're building schools, they doing stuff for them. So they have just a different perception of things. It's kind of crazy. Jen says, but they can accuse African Americans of gentrifiers. Exactly. They in Ghana calling you a gentrifier for simply moving there and buying a house and staying there for a couple months throughout the year. And they letting this man buy 500 acres of land in Kenya. I'm starting to, if countries are good enough to immigrate and take over your country and to stop, I'm sorry. This is in a way, sorry. All right. And to develop the land. Well, that's what they're asking. I saw a lot of Nigerians when the whole thing was going on, where they was accusing the Africans of killing Christians, and you had a lot of them saying, "Yeah, let America come in. We want America to intervene." Same thing happened with Haiti when they killed that president and things it's still looking bad right now. But when they first started, they was like, "Yes, please, America, come in. We want boots on the ground here." I said, y'all be asking for stuff, and then when it happened, it go the way it's always going to go, and you're surprised.
You can have your home here.
You can have it here. This is a piece of dream.
For many, anger stems from where this project is located. A privately owned dam in this very region collapsed in 2018. The
collapsed, quote unquote.
Flooding killed dozens and displaced thousands.
For years, they tried to seek compensation from the government, but there was radio silence. The next thing that we hear about Solai is the settlement, 520 acres.
So, and this is where I want to get to. A dam in the area collapsed randomly. You start asking for money from the government for this tragedy situation that happens, and next time they even speak about this land, they've sold it to an Israeli man.
And a foreigner.
Jahira says the controversy around the plan also brought to light a little-known fact about Kenyan history.
In the past, before settling on Palestinian land, one of the options considered was Uganda and Kenya.
Yep, and that's the second thing I want to get to. Before the Balfour Declaration was signed by the UK, Uganda and Kenya were supposed to be the places that these so-called Zionists went to. Palestine was the third choice. They decided, let's go ahead and live up to the book and say it's Israel. But it was actually going to be in Africa.
It's true. In 1904, the Zionist Congress sent a commission to explore Kenya as an option for Jewish settlement.
Before the British decided to finally pick Palestine.
Today, Kenya actually has strong ties to Israel. The Kenyan government has been one of Israel's closest partners in Africa for decades. Israel has trained the Kenyan army, and Kenyan authorities have used Israeli security technology to spy on activists.
I ain't even gotta listen to the rest of this. We know where it's gonna go. Kenya, man, oh man. It's gonna be bad, man. They don't let them put their tentacles all throughout your government, your country, now they're getting into the land. They can't extend west to Arab countries because they won't let them. So they said, we're gonna extend the other route. We're gonna go Africa. Fuck it. I know, said we have to stop feeling bad for these groups who are being oppressed by leadership that mirrors them. Yeah. Let's get to a point now where you're asking for your own trials and tribulations. So you got to survive it. Anyway, kept y'all long enough. This is just first episode back on this new system. I got to work on some stuff. It's all over the place right now. And, I'm not used to talking this much again. I got to get used to talking for 2 hours again. I'm barely making it right now. Thanks for the show, dude. Thank you, Regina. Thanks, Honorable and Kifa and Dre and Mystery Man and Craig. Thank y'all for coming through. Appreciate the support as always, y'all. Turn it up a little better next week. I'll be in better shape for this. But thank y'all for coming through as always. Appreciate the support as always. Please make sure you like it on your way out. Subscribe if you're not. Share it if you can. As always, y'all. We back in business. We back right. Tell Travis George accuses me daily on Facebook for having him leave the show. I have to make sure I tell him. Thank y'all for coming through. And as always, y'all be safe. All praise to the Most High. Man.